Have you ever found yourself relying on gut instincts and intuition, only to realize later that it led you astray? What if I told you there are two distinct systems of thinking at play, and understanding how they work can transform the way you make decisions? Welcome to Big Brain Bang, where we explore the insights and shred the ideas from some of the most influential books in the business world. I'm your host, Anna Collins, and today we'll delve into the key takeaways from the book Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Get ready to explore the fascinating world of System 1 and System 2 thinking. Let's dive right in. Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman is a groundbreaking book that explores the two systems of thinking that drive our decisions and shape our lives. Kahneman, a Nobel laureate in economics, presents decades of research in cognitive psychology to demonstrate how our thought processes can be categorized into two distinct systems: the intuitive, fast-thinking system and the deliberate, slow-thinking system. This summary provides an overview of the key concepts and main ideas explored in this influential book. System 1 and System 2. System 1 and System 2 are two distinct modes of thinking that influence our decision-making processes. Understanding their roles is crucial for recognizing how our minds work and how biases can affect our choices. System 1 thinking is our intuitive, automatic, and rapid mode of thought. It operates effortlessly and unconsciously, using heuristics and shortcuts to process information quickly. For example, when you see a person's facial expression change to a frown, System 1 immediately alerts you to the potential presence of a negative emotion. This automatic response happens without conscious effort, and you instinctively understand that something might be wrong. System 1 thinking evolved as a survival mechanism to help us navigate the world efficiently. It allows us to quickly assess situations and make split-second decisions based on patterns, past experiences, and immediate sensory inputs. While System 1 thinking is often accurate and efficient, it can also lead to cognitive biases and errors. For instance, when faced with a complex math problem, System 1 might provide an incorrect answer due to its reliance on shortcuts and mental associations. On the other hand, System 2 thinking is our deliberate, conscious, and effortful mode of thought. It requires focused attention, logical reasoning, and mental effort. When you encounter a challenging mathematical equation, System 2 kicks in as you consciously engage in step-by-step calculations, considering various possibilities and employing critical thinking. System 2 thinking is necessary for tasks that require concentration, analysis, and decision-making under uncertainty. While System 2 thinking is often more accurate and reliable, it can be mentally demanding and easily depleted. It requires conscious effort and concentration, making it susceptible to fatigue and distraction. Engaging in prolonged System 2 thinking can be tiring, which is why our minds tend to default to the more energy-efficient System 1 thinking whenever possible. Understanding the interplay between System 1 and System 2 is crucial because it helps us recognize the potential biases and errors that can arise from relying solely on intuitive thinking. By being aware of these two systems, we can consciously activate System 2 when needed to make more deliberate and rational decisions. For instance, when presented with complex financial choices, such as investing in the stock market, relying solely on System 1 thinking could lead to impulsive and uninformed decisions. By engaging System 2 thinking, you can carefully analyze market trends, evaluate risks, and make informed investment choices. Recognizing the balance between these two systems and consciously applying System 2 thinking when appropriate can lead to better decision-making and a reduced likelihood of falling prey to cognitive biases and errors. Cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are systematic patterns of thinking that deviate from rationality and can influence our decision-making processes. They are the result of the interplay between System 1 and System 2 thinking and can have a profound impact on the quality and accuracy of our judgments and choices. One example of a cognitive bias is confirmation bias. This bias refers to our tendency to favor information that confirms our existing beliefs or hypotheses while disregarding or downplaying evidence that contradicts them. For instance, imagine a person who strongly believes that a particular nutritional supplement improves athletic performance. When presented with scientific studies that demonstrate inconclusive or negative results, they may selectively focus on studies that support their belief and dismiss the contradictory evidence. This bias can lead to a skewed perception of reality and prevent individuals from considering alternative viewpoints or objectively evaluating evidence. Another cognitive bias is the availability bias. This bias occurs when we rely on information that is easily recalled or readily available in our memory to make judgments or estimates about the likelihood of events. For example, after hearing news reports about a series of shark attacks, individuals may develop an exaggerated fear of shark encounters, even though the actual probability of such an event is extremely low. The vividness and emotional impact of the news stories make them more mentally available, leading to an inflated perception of risk. This bias can result in irrational fears and distorted risk assessments. Cognitive biases can have significant implications in various domains, including business, finance, and personal decision-making. They can lead to errors in judgment, flawed reasoning, and suboptimal choices. Recognizing these biases is essential because it allows us to challenge our own thought processes and strive for more objective and rational decision-making. By consciously engaging System 2 thinking, we can critically evaluate information, seek out diverse perspectives, and guard against the influence of biases. Understanding cognitive biases is particularly relevant in fields such as marketing and advertising. Advertisers often employ techniques that exploit cognitive biases to influence consumer behavior. For example, the anchoring bias is frequently utilized in pricing strategies. By initially presenting a higher price for a product and then offering a discounted price, consumers may perceive the discounted price as a bargain, even if it is still higher than the product's actual value. This bias can lead individuals to make purchasing decisions based on the perceived savings rather than the product's true worth. By familiarizing ourselves with cognitive biases and actively questioning our thought processes, we can make more informed decisions, reduce the influence of biases, and enhance our ability to think critically and objectively. Heuristics and biases. Heuristic biases are mental shortcuts or rules of thumb that System 1 thinking relies on to simplify decision-making. While heuristics can be efficient and help us make quick judgments, they can also lead to systematic errors and biases in our thinking. One example of a heuristic bias is the representative heuristic. This bias occurs when we make judgments or assumptions based on how closely an individual or event resembles a particular prototype or stereotype. For instance, if we encounter someone who wears glasses, reads books, and speaks softly, we might automatically assume that they are an introverted intellectual. This judgment is based on the stereotype we hold of intellectuals, even though it may not accurately represent the person's actual personality or interests. This bias can lead to oversimplification and the overlooking of individual differences, potentially leading to incorrect assessments or unfair judgments. Another heuristic bias is the availability heuristic. This bias involves estimating the likelihood or frequency of an event based on how easily relevant examples come to mind. For example, if we hear news reports about car accidents, we might overestimate the probability of being involved in a car crash, even though statistically, it may be unlikely. This bias can impact our decision-making by making us overly cautious or avoidant of certain activities, even when the objective risk is low. Heuristic biases also have practical implications in various domains, such as marketing and advertising. Advertisers often exploit heuristic biases to influence consumer behavior. For example, using celebrity endorsements can create an association between the product and the positive qualities or achievements of the celebrity, leveraging the representativeness heuristic. Consumers may be more inclined to purchase the product based on the assumption that it will provide similar benefits or experiences as the endorsed individual. By understanding heuristic biases, individuals can become more mindful of their thought processes, question assumptions, and make decisions that are less influenced by these mental shortcuts. It empowers us to approach decision-making with a more critical and objective mindset, reducing the likelihood of falling into predictable biases and making more rational choices. Prospect theory. Prospect theory, developed by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, describes how individuals make decisions under conditions of uncertainty. It challenges the traditional economic theory that assumes people always make rational choices based on maximizing utility. According to prospect theory, individuals tend to be more sensitive to potential losses than gains. They exhibit a bias known as loss aversion, which means they are more averse to losing something than they are motivated by the prospect of gaining something of equal value. This aversion to losses can lead to risk-averse behavior and a tendency to make irrational decisions in an attempt to avoid losses. For example, consider a scenario where an individual is offered a gamble, a 50% chance to win $100 or a 50% chance to lose $100. Traditional economic theory would suggest that the individual would evaluate the expected value of the gamble and make a rational decision based on maximizing potential gains. However, prospect theory suggests that the individual may be more focused on the possibility of losing $100 rather than gaining $100, and therefore may be more inclined to avoid the gamble altogether. Understanding prospect theory is essential because it highlights that individuals do not always make decisions based on rational calculations of expected value. The theory acknowledges that emotions and psychological factors play a significant role in decision-making, particularly when faced with uncertainty and potential gains or losses. Recognizing this bias can help individuals make more informed decisions by considering both the potential gains and losses involved, as well as being mindful of their aversion to losses and its impact on their choices. The impact of framing. The book highlights the powerful influence of framing on decision-making. The way information is presented or framed can significantly alter people's choices. Kahneman illustrates this through the concept of the endowment effect, which shows that people tend to value things they already possess more than those they don't. Understanding framing effects can help individuals become more aware of biases and make better decisions. Happiness and experience. Kahneman delves into the difference between two aspects of human well-being, the experiencing self and the remembering self. The experiencing self lives in the present moment, while the remembering self constructs memories based on certain moments. Our overall happiness is often determined by how we remember our experiences rather than the sum of our actual experiences. This understanding has implications for decision-making and how we prioritize our actions to maximize overall well-being. Conclusion: Thinking, Fast and Slow provides invaluable insights into the complexities of human decision-making. By examining the interplay between System 1 and System 2 thinking, Kahneman highlights the cognitive biases, heuristics, and mental shortcuts that shape our judgments and choices. The book encourages readers to become more aware of their thought processes, recognize biases, and strive for more rational decision-making. So much for our summary of Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. We look forward to seeing you in other audio summaries from Big Brain Bang. Thanks for listening.